So, I have to tell you, you people rock. I played very much a bumblebee throughout the day, and you know, going from session to session and seeing how engaged everyone was with topics, and some of them really difficult, big ideas going on. It was very impressive. So I want to thank you all for my part and from Creative New Jersey part and the Dodge Foundation who sponsored this. So this is called Evening News. This is not reporting out on all of the stuff that you did today. You'll notice that we have a thing called the news wall. And as reports are coming in, they're getting printed out and put up on the news wall. So I encourage you to go over and look at them and read them. Those of you who have not yet put your reports in, we want to make sure that you get those in as quickly as possible, even perhaps before you go to the cocktail party. They might be more coherent that way. And as I said this morning, after you leave tomorrow, we kind of think before you get home you'll have in your inbox the proceedings of the entire event. So that's great. So here's what we're going to do tonight. This is called Evening News. And it is for you to kind of give your reactions or reflections about the day, but not necessarily to report out a long report on your sessions necessarily. So we have two mics. Maureen has one and I have one. So any thoughts? You're talked out. I know you're not.
I just want to talk about the process of the day, which I thought was excellent, because I think as an initiator of one of the first sessions, it was very easy to be facilitator because it was a room full of experts. And I think that's the power of this, is that someone asks a question over here and someone over here has the answer. The facilitator, it was very easy to kind of keep that process going, and I think we learned about a lot of different things in our session, including tools that people can use, go home and use right now, and organizations that people can look up, and I think this process works.
I was amazed by the process. I think it was excellent, and I'd love to participate in something like this again beyond tomorrow. Not every week, though. It's just a brain drain. But I learned many things today, and now you've given us so much, everybody here, has given us so much homework. We have to go and Google everything and research it and check it out. But it was a wonderful opportunity.
Hi, I'm John McEwen, and just a couple of things. I think it's so wonderful that we have young people here, and I just want to thank those that invited the students, the college and high school. It was wonderful being in some sessions with them, with their wonderful energy and great ideas. And I also, in several of the sessions that I was in, we heard a lot about the definition of creativity and innovation. It kind of percolated a little bit, and I think it probably happened in a lot of the groups. So I think it would be interesting when all the notes come back from the teams to actually find the definitions of the different definitions of creativity and innovation, because I think everybody was coming at it from slightly a different point of view, and I just think that would be fascinating to see what the definitions are, and maybe as a group finding a way to come up with some common language that we can all work from.
Hi, just a thought that I'm going to take away today and think about is just as this sort of, the design of today, the process of today blows up the traditional concept of a conference, I'm trying to think about how, what the applicability of this is to blowing up the concept of a traditional school day and schools, and what, obviously not exactly the same thing, but what implications does this have for the way young people learn every day? Because I know I learned a lot today, and no one stood in front and showed me a PowerPoint or gave me a lecture.
I just appreciate all the different perspectives. We have educators here, we have cultural people here, we have mayors of towns, people from schools, and me from the corporate world, and I think we really merged a lot of good ideas together and kind of built off of each other. I just came back from a coaching conference in Nashville called Coaching Among Masters, and we also had no PowerPoint. And we basically had an agendaless meeting. We had a focus. And I think we came up with a lot of neat ideas, not just neat ideas, but I'd like to see us execute some of them.
Hi, I'm Karen Hatcher. I'm resisting the idea that there needs to be a particular result or a takeaway today. What I'm trying to do is stay in the process of it. I want to feel like this is a recipe. You know, that we have lots of ingredients here and that they're being put together and they're still assembling. But I don't feel like this cake, if you will, is ready to go in the oven. I don't feel like it's baked. And I'm resisting the notion of, like, I know what even to take away right now. So I want to just kind of hang out and invite the rest of us, if you're willing, to hang out in the not knowing what this means. Because I don't know what this means yet. And maybe that's just me. That's okay too. But if you're there with me, that's cool. And you know, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see where we go and what happens next. But I'm thrilled. This was just an exciting ride today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ted Lind. I'm with the Newark Museum, and we had a really good session at the beginning this morning talking about the value of preschoolers. And I realize there's a lot of creative people here, and I just want to, by a show of hands, how many of you went to preschool? Whoa, it's only about 50%, see? Okay, well that was the value. There was no such thing, that's right, I never went to preschool. Yeah. But it's got me thinking that this whole process of moving around like a bumblebee from one place to another was very much like a really good preschool classroom. So we really
Karen, you actually gave part of my speech, so thank you. Because this is why this is 2 days. This process isn't over. So when you go to the cocktail party, you'll continue the process. When you go home tonight and you know, think about this, that's still part of the process. When you dream tonight, it may still be part of the process. So you know, tomorrow when we reconvene, the first thing that we're going to do is have a group meeting like this and find out what actually transpired between now and tomorrow morning, within reason. Other comments?
My name is Bob Morrison. One little bit that I wanted to share about the process, because I think you're absolutely right. It's okay not to know. And contrary to maybe what Larry said, you're not going to know tomorrow either, because this is a process. In the state of Oklahoma, which was one of the first states to pioneer intentional strategies around creativity, from the spark of the idea of launching an initiative to them getting everyone in a room like this to have the conversation took 7 years. So we've now moved faster down that pathway to recognizing that we need to have the conversation. And we're not going to know exactly where this is going to go, but we do know that if we don't do anything, we're not going to like the outcome. So that's part of working this process forward and staying engaged and finding your way to stay engaged. It's okay not to know, because none of the rest of us know either.
Hi, I'm Robin Middleman. I just want to share that this has been so wonderful, especially since we're coming from different walks of life, different jobs, different perspectives, different political persuasions. So we had a great conversation in our last session that was led by the mayor from Buena Vista. And I don't know, I'm sorry, it's Chuck, but I don't know your last name. Sherelle. Oh, sorry. Thank you for getting up. And there was several art folks in there, and we all said we don't talk about politics and democracy and being citizens enough, and it was a really great experience. But part of that is saying we're all with different learning styles and different expectations, and I just want to add a note that I already know some things I want to do, and that's just part of being different folks. And I'm going to let those ideas grow and share them tomorrow, but just recognizing that we all have come in here with different learning styles and ways of needing to know, that I already do know a few things, and it's thanks to the great conversations that happened today, plus all of the work that led up to this, so thanks.
Hi, I'm Catherine Kish.
Someone else before me lauded the fact that young people were in the room, but I really want to underline that because I heard again and again today that we not only have different thinking styles because we are individuals, but there are very different things going on with people under 25 than the people over 25. When we talked about process in one meeting, we said, well, it actually came down to the fact that we would be, that people of a certain age would be very comfortable in a process that looked like this, but for young people, we had to create something that was very different and much more interactive, and I think that is more significant than it's ever been. Older people have always given lip service to the fact that young people are different, but there really is something going on, and the other piece of it is technology. And we have to be so aware of the way different generations deal with technology if we want to foster creativity and innovation.
I'm Chuck Chiarello, and I just want to say that everything flowed very, very well today. I did 3 different sessions in the course of the day, and I was amazed by looking at all those pieces of paper on the wall that I could actually find everything that was pretty coherent, that just flowed from one topic to another. And also about the young people. These 2 young people right in front of you here were in our last session, and we were talking about what's good in government, and they really helped bridge a generation gap. And I think that I'm so proud that you had this session.
Well, I guess it was nice to put like students with government officials and you know, school administrators and nonprofit people, because you know, some of the organizations could hear from us and we could kind of understand where they're coming from. So like, you know, if like you're sitting in a classroom and somebody's presenting to you and you just sit there like dead bored, you know, this helps with that. No, but it's good for everybody to see other people's perspectives. So it was really interesting. It was great. Yeah.
I think actually we were sort of surprising to the people in that group too, because I know that Mr. Daggett, wherever he is, I was surprisingly unidealistic for him. And I think that was like a big thing, because you know, you think like the youth, like everyone's a liberal idealist, and you know, I'm not going to talk about political persuasion, but I don't have that like idealistic, like rainbows and unicorns view, and I think that's kind of shocking. So, yeah.
Everybody was surprised how cynical we were. Just gonna put that out there.
I'm sorry I wasn't here for the first part of this. I hope, first of all, everybody's had a good experience today. I know I have. It's been a really interesting, particularly for somebody who's never done anything like this, and I haven't, and I guess a number of you haven't also. But I do want to underscore one thing, that I've talked a lot since I got at Dodge about the fact, I actually talked a lot about it a couple of years ago when I was running around New Jersey a lot, talking about the fact that we used to be the leader in the world, one of the leaders in the world in innovation. We had Bell Labs, and we had Sarnoff, and we had Edison Labs. We had pharmaceutical research centers. This was the mecca for research and innovation, and we have declined significantly over the last few years. This is exciting to me because this should be the beginning of starting to restore that in New Jersey, whether it's through the arts, or whether it's through research, or whether it's through higher ed, or whatever it happens to be. We need to get back to being a leader in creativity and innovation. And to me, the excitement of this is that I've heard today in my listenings the seeds of some of the ways that we can begin to do that. And so I'm hoping that over drinks, which is always a good place, it's kind of like the late afternoon version of the coffee that you talked about earlier this morning. And particularly tomorrow, that we end up being able to start to get some of these seeds planted and begin to figure out which ways to go. But I hope you've all found this to be as good an experience as I have, and tomorrow's to be continued. Thanks.
So it is true. Now we can go to the cocktail party with you all understanding that you did this. We didn't do it. You created the agenda. You created the sessions and the incredible conversations.